Did David pay Celeste's family to stay silent? Something that we spoke about while we've been covering this and speculating about. So let's see if there's any information out there to back that shit up.
Oh, too much information and shit.
Some more updates for you guys on the David and Celeste situation. And in this video, I'm going to mainly focus on the victim, Celeste, and some very strange things that have been circulating that apparently suggest that perhaps this connection between her and David, or relationship, whatever you want to call it, apparently it might have well started before David was even making music, when she was just 11 years old. Now, a lot of speculation has been made about when exactly the murder might have occurred. You know, the body had been in the car for an extended period of time. A lot of people have been trying to piece together and work out a timeline of when he went on tour, when the body was found, all of that kind of thing. But what I think is really interesting is a lot of people are kind of looking more deeply into the backstory about how this girl ended up on a Discord server with David, with all of these adults, or with all of these older people, men and women, and where exactly that relationship started. And there's been a couple
that's what I want to know. How an 11-year-old ended up on that fucking Discord with adults.
of things that just really chill your blood when it comes to this. But first off, what I want to do is I just want to pay my respects to the victim and show you a post that's been going around on her subreddit that's been started recently. As I covered in a previous video, the main David subreddit has kind of been has gone dormant. It's still up as far as I'm aware, but as David himself has resigned as the sole moderator, you're no longer able to post in there because there's nobody to approve the posts. And that means that everybody's migrated to this David 2 subreddit, as well as this Celeste Rivas Hernandez subreddit. And people have been posting this very kind of, you know, very heartbreaking mural.
She was a kid, bro, a child.
That's been placed. I don't know whether this is outside her home or whether this is near where some of this, you know, potentially went down. But yeah, this really just drives home how tragic this is. What we've got here is a mural to her with, you know, candles all around, teddy bears. I mean, this really just drives home that this is the child that we're talking about. I think a few things have been getting lost in translation, just as far as people trying to get to the bottom of the music and all of the clues and all of the dark demonic stuff that was seemingly going on in David's career. But, you know, this just drives home this is a child that lost their life. You know, you got the Hello Kitty banner there. There's Hello Kitty stuffed animals that have been placed there, and this really just goes to show you this is a child that lost their life, and it just really drives home just how real this is. And this banner, it says justice for Celeste Rivas, justice, and that's what people are looking for. It hasn't been delivered yet, but the wheels of justice, they move pretty slow, but I'm confident that there will be justice for Celeste. You know, this is a close-up. People have written there, I miss you, I love you, rest in peace. It's just really, really sad. What does this say? I'm sorry this happened to you, you don't deserve this. You know, it's just really heartbreaking stuff to see. And, you know, there's candles here with messages written on them, a Hello Kitty stuffed animal there. Just really, really sad. And I think that just drives home just how real this is. You know, I definitely don't want to belittle the seriousness of this situation. You know, I've been covering it in depth. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with covering this, digging into it. A lot of people are preserving this information that might be useful to the authorities later. But, you know, I just want to make it clear how serious this is and just how sad and tragic of a loss this is. I mean, just seeing that mural really drives it home. These aren't characters on the internet. You know, this ain't Fortnite, this ain't any of that stuff. This is real life, a real child that lost their life. And it's just really heartbreaking to see. Apparently, according to this, David actually met Celeste on Fortnite rather than from his music career. And apparently she tried to leave him, but he wouldn't let her. But this really thickens the plot because it's probable that David, when he was a Fortnite player, he would have been active on Discord. We saw Celeste seemingly started her Discord account all the way back when she would have been 10 years old. And this kind of adds a very dark context to it that perhaps, you know, maybe this grooming was going on before he'd even started his music career. But let's hear what people have to say.
Go back to her family, and David would not let her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have been calling and trying to make reports on this since 2023, and we kept getting brushed off, like me and the two other people on the server, which have been trying.
You've been trying to go to the police.
We've been trying to go to the police, and we have been brushed off.
Oh my God, it's always the fucking cops doing some bullshit. Like,
the main reason why they would.
You tried to go to the cops? You tried? Who was it said there is no try? Just do. And you're like, in the server. You're in that server. Why are you in that server?
Do anything because us who report are getting brushed off, like me and the two other people on the server, which have been trying.
You've been trying to go to the police.
We've been trying to go to the police, and we have been brushed off.
Oh my God, it's always the fucking cops doing some bullshit. Like,
the main reason why they wouldn't do anything is because us who reported it, we live out of state. And then, like, the moderators of the server, they all knew her age. They all knew exactly what was going down. And every time we went to say something about it and, like, say that it was wrong and that David was going to catch a case, but she's also in danger, we got muted. I got muted for a month straight.
So I really wouldn't be surprised if this is like not a one-off thing. He's probably, you know,
this is mental.
Other younger underage girls, you know, before her.
Yeah, because from what she told me is that half of them are older and half of them are young in there.
Oh.
I had to go back because I had to read Vicente's comment because Vicente's in the weeds right now. Is it me, or do all of Celeste pictures look the same? Her head is always in the same angle. Maybe her image is AI generated? Fuck are you talking about? Are you inferring that she might not have existed at all? Is this what you're inferring? The internet crosses state lines, period. There should be its own police force for the fucking internet for shit like this. Miss me with the, we were in another state, and I get it. That type of shit can happen where them girls are calling from Minnesota talking about some shit happening in LA and nobody cares. I'm just not too convinced that y'all did anything.
I got muted for a month straight.
So I really wouldn't be surprised if this is like not a one-off thing. He's probably, you know,
This is meant.
Muted for a month straight. If I'm doing some nefarious shit where I'm doing something illegal, something that I can get in trouble for, and you're in my Discord and you trying to call me out for it, and I mute you for a month of punishment, get rid of you forever. Why let you even back in if you're not with the program? And it seemed like that Reddit was, I mean, not like that Discord or Reddit. I don't know where these girls are from, Discord or Reddit. It says Discord. And it seems like that Discord, most people was, you know, get with the program.
Other younger underage girls, you know, before her.
Yeah, because from what she told me is that half of them are older and half of them are young in there.
Oh, wow.
And they met each other when they were playing Fortnite and stuff. Like Celeste and David, they were playing Fortnite, and then she basically came onto Discord.
No, you did.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
See, that blows away the context that I talked about in the last video that we did about this, where I said if the context is that they're speaking about Epstein in that live stream, and he said something, told her to say something controversial, because nobody gives us the full live stream. Can I watch that whole live stream? Where is it? And if she just said that, I imagine they would be in the context of because she said controversial, like raping kids. If she would have said that in the context of the Epstein shit, I can understand it. But look, they are talking about it. Epstein flight list, David. Can you deep dive into, I don't know, when you coming to Switzerland? But it looks like he said, I trained you. And did they cut this together? I trained you. And she said, no, you didn't. And he said, that's controversial. And she said, like, graping kids.
And then she basically came onto Discord.
He trained you.
No, you did.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Yeah, sus.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything.
And David's.
So from that context of that call, they're saying that, you know, the girl was playing Fortnite with David, and that's how they met, and that's before he even started his rap career or his music career. He wasn't really a rapper. And obviously we kind of find out later on down the line that, you know, he only released his first song publicly at the end of 2021. So it's possible, based on what these people are saying, that this was going on before he started his music career in early 2021. And it's super messed up, man. So people say, I don't know how real this is, but it seems pretty accurate. Enough is enough. Lock this sick creep up before more children end up dead. At this point, he's a risk. Very sad. R.I.P. Celeste. This is almost similar to the Dharma case 47 years ago, where police returned a minor named Konorak back to Dharma after the minor Konorak escaped him while being delusional from being drugged and bleeding after people tried to alert cops that Dharma was dealing with a minor. They brushed it off and returned him back to Dharma's custody, who later killed him. Sad the same type of situations involving creeps who prey on children is happening 47 years later. It says they've been trying hard to expose David since 2023, but they couldn't because they were out of state and not worthy of evidence and were muted. The same thing is said to have been done on this subreddit as well. Just shows how this team effort of people who are recruiting minors and girls younger and older than Celeste to be a part
Yeah, but whoever typed that, they deleted too.
of whatever creepy trafficking ring these celebs have going on. People saying that's a bullseye.
How the feds haven't questioned dude or at least figured out how the poor girl was unalive with all of their resources is beyond me. Yeah, because, you know, they do what they want to do when they want to do it. Everything the cops might know about that, what happened, they're not about to release that information. I know that. I don't expect them to release all of it, you know. I don't expect them to know all of it. I think that the internet got to step up on them sometimes, most of the time, a lot of the time. So sad, she never had a chance, indeed. Bingo, Shy, maybe this is all for publicity. For David? And you saying she don't exist? You know how many, for publicity for what? For his music? That means you got to put you got to make a liar out of the teacher that pulled out the phone and said, you know, she was in my classroom, so was the kid that was meeting up with David. You got to make all of those kids in that classroom liars and actors. You'd have to fabricate years, not just years, not just today's fresh shit from this week, years of Discords and Reddits. And nah, I think you're reaching, Vicente. Salutes. It's good to reach though. Question everything. Here's my question. I was listening to, shout out Shannon. I was listening to a former cop and a former prosecutor. Big takeaways. Age of victim 13 versus 14. Cell phones, computers that were taken out of his home are all being analyzed, and they're busy running it down. And the age of the victim is 13 versus 14. What does that mean? Age of victim is 13 versus 14. You saying that she's been unalived for over a year? 13 to 14. 13 versus 14 is the age where in California, law is the difference in charging statutes. California's a fucking circle jerk off, boy. Listen, they could miss me with all that shit. I listen to the law and crime stuff. Again, I've lost trust in them. I don't really trust the police either. So, they're just people too.
Definitely let me know. So there's a lot of other creepy little details that are going around. This is another one. It says somebody found a YouTube comment on the Romantic Homicide music video that just said Celeste with a side frowning emoji, saying it's unedited and from a year ago. This is the post a year ago. Someone put Celeste. People are wondering who this is and why they would have posted it all the way back then. And essentially, it's the comment there. This is a link to the actual comment. And there it is highlighted at the top. A lot of people are wondering what's...
That's crazy. Here's another thing. They clocked her at 70 pounds. I don't know. I've heard a lot of speculation about how long she'd have been unalived. The brother said 2 weeks. I've heard days. I've really heard nothing solid, right? 70 pounds after decomposition or 70 pounds when she went deceased. Even if she weighed 80 pounds, that sounds tiny and malnourished for somebody her age. Just a thought. She weighed $120. Who said that? I haven't heard that. I heard 70 pounds. I haven't heard $120. I heard 70 pounds. I've heard 70 pounds throughout the entire time we've been covering this shit. I've heard 70 pounds.
Another detail that I think is really interesting relating to Celeste and the family. Now, I'm not necessarily condoning. I don't think it's right to victim blame or to try and make out like the family is in the wrong for this happening. But a lot of people do believe that the family knew something about what was going on. So check out these comments on TikTok. It says, I live in Lake Elsinore, 5 to 10 minutes away. There was so much more going on. Her family knew he was with her since she was 11 and they didn't care. All they cared for was the money given to them. Someone said, what? And this Carmen person replied, yeah, unfortunately, she was reported missing in 2020.
And here's the thing. Anybody could just say this shit. That could be just somebody's opinion. They could just jump on the internet and just say whatever they want. We keep taking the internet as fact. That's just somebody spewing off their thoughts. And trust me, most people that are just spewing out their thoughts really ain't think much about it.
24, but they all knew where she was. Even her friends extorted David for money.
That I believe. I believe the friends knew. The mom, the brother, there's something fishy there. But I believe all the friends knew, and maybe those friends took some bread.
That they wouldn't say where she was staying. 5 to 10 minutes away, there was so much more going on. Her family knew he was with her since she was 11, and they didn't care. All they cared for was the money given to them. Someone said, what? And this Carmen person replied, yeah, unfortunately, she was reported missing in 2024, but they all knew where she was. Even her friends extorted David for money so that they wouldn't say where she was staying. I think the mom should also be responsible for allowing a child to move in with a boyfriend at that age. It's just too many things like a rabbit hole. There's a lot more than what is being said. Here in Elsinore, all of her friends are talking about it because she was in communication with them. So sad. But then people are saying, well, why did they even report her missing if that's what was going on? People were saying, I think it's because she wasn't going to school, so they needed to do that to get the authorities off them back. And then this Carmen person replies, she would sneak out at age 11. Her neighborhood is horrible. I'm an adult and I wouldn't be dead caught walking in the middle of the night there. Then they saw that he had money and they became more dependent and sold out because what else can you call that mother that lets her 13-year-old leave the house with someone who's 18 and not care?
Yeah, listen, I'm not into victim blaming either. And that's another word, that's another trigger word like gaslighting and race baiting is victim blaming. No, where fucking blame is supposed to be. I don't give a fuck if you the victim or not. If there's blame for you, hold that L. To the mom, if you allowed the 13-year-old to leave the house with an 18-year-old, hold this L, bitch. Hold it. It's yours.
Someone said, and 5 to 10 minutes away from Lake Elsinore isn't Lake Elsinore. People have to go out of Lake Elsinore to shop or do anything that's not small town. I live in San Bernardino, so Riverside, Perris, Temecula, Lake Elsinore is backyard stuff. My ex was murdered in Lake Elsinore in 2018, so I know one thing for certain there isn't no bad neighborhoods out there. So stop giving out false narratives about this poor family. You don't know nothing. And this person said 5 to 10 minutes from her house. You knew and you didn't do anything. Someone says, what I know is what I was told when it happened. And what could I have done when her mother knew, her whole family knew, they practically sold her. Someone's saying, just because you were told something doesn't make it true. How dare you slander her family? You have no idea what that family is going through. A lot of Mexican families do allow their daughters to grow up faster than needed because of how...
No. I don't give a f. I don't give a f.
How
Miss me
poor
with
our
the
families
culture.
are.
A Mexican family does this, that. I don't give a f. It's pedophilia.
To her. Someone's saying, just because you were told something doesn't make it true. How dare you slander her family? You have no idea what that family is going through. A lot of Mexican families do allow their daughters to grow up faster than needed because of how poor our families are. I don't know if that's an excuse, but okay.
Yeah, that's definitely not an excuse. Miss me with the bullshit. They had no business together. None. Not no shoes, not a look, not a glance, not a conversation, not a trip, not a night on the town. They had no business together ever. Not Fortnite, not Reddit, not Discord, not nothing. Not Roblox. They had no business having anything to do with each other, period. See? Somebody picked up on what I picked up. There isn't a specific $9,000 cap for Apple Pay itself, but rather a general transaction limit of $10,000 per message or transaction and a $10,000 maximum limit for sending and receiving money in a 7-day period within the Apple Cash service. You may also encounter limits set by merchants, your bank, or card issuer for spending with your linked debit and credit card via Apple Pay. Apple Cash limits per message transaction. You can send or receive maximum $10K within a 7-day period. The maximum amount you can send or receive is $10K. Adding money to Cash App, you can add a maximum.
You can add a maximum of 10,000. Basically, that is the limit. Okay, and people saying it's for IRS purposes. You have to claim that.
That's what I said. It's for IRS purposes. You have to claim that. It's going to show in your bank statements. Anything over $10K is flagged by the IRS. So he probably didn't want to be looked into.
Showing your bank statements. Anything over $10K.
I agree. Damn, Robert said before mom made her Facebook private, there were messages saying her daughter was in Culiacan being trafficked. No, mom is it. The Bartell buzzword is connected to this too. I'll link it later in the Discord. Please do, Robert. That's crazy. That's crazy. We can't get away from these motherfuckers, man.
No, mommy's wait.
When did the fucking live stream happen that she was on? Was she a missing person during that live stream? If she was, we got more proof that she was in LA with David than we do that she was in Culiacan doing whatever.
And somebody commented under this, said it's probably all very complicated and there's multiple layers to it all. The abuse, neglect at home, earlier R words, grooming, being...
Yeah, there's no question that there's a problem at the crib. They couldn't, even if the problem was only that they couldn't control Shorty. You know what I'm saying? But there was a problem, bro.
This guy is really twisted by the looks of it. By everything that I've seen, in my opinion, he seems like a twisted and sick individual. And seeing stuff like this go around, you can tell people are upset, people are tired. Forget all the weird satanic occult stuff in there. People are actually pissed off, they're tired, they're sick to their stomachs with what they've seen in this situation.
I agree.
And they're ready to see justice. And I
agree.
Feel the same, okay? I'm not a judge, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not the police, but everything that I've seen is so twisted and so messed up.
Bro, let me find out that this guy gets away with it because they can't figure it out. Holy shit. Because guess what? If he get away with it, and if they can't figure it out, let's say he didn't do it. They don't go looking for the motherfucker that did. Man, look.
I can't even fathom how I'd feel if we don't end up seeing justice in this case. If it ends up that there's just no way and there's no
it won't be the first
and it's
time.
A really good point that
it won't be the first time America didn't let down some child. It's happening right now as we speak.
They need to prove the cause of death. They need to prove how this girl died. If you're going to bring murder charges against somebody, look, I was about to say, it's not illegal to have a body in your Tesla. It definitely is, but that doesn't necessarily prove murder. A lot of people saying, the car was stolen, someone else did this. David got nothing to do with it. He was on tour. But based on all the things that we've seen, it looks like this girl was entangled in a relationship, and what was she doing out in Hollywood? Why was she in Hollywood? What business does she have to do being in a car that was parked outside David's yard? So it is super twisted, and I think it makes it even more chilling that apparently, all right, David's just chilling at home. He's chilling at home playing Fortnite. He was still playing Fortnite today on September the 22nd. People are saying bro lost a match and just gave up. All right, he was playing all the way until September the 22nd, which is today. All right, no kills, score 21. I'm not even gonna make. He won a game and got 107 kills. All right, so he's clearly this guy's good at Fortnite, right? People saying, don't off yourself, David. You need to face the law. 0 kills? Seriously? Are we sure he was even playing and not just online speaking to somebody? bro, they find a dead miner in his car and he's just playing Fortnite. Dystopian. Now, even more connections to this girl have been surfacing, and it's just crazy to think that this guy's just chilling at home playing Fortnite right now. He's just chilling. People saying caught in 4K. People are saying that this is the Celeste, and this is a picture from Instagram of David out partying with her. Right? People saying, Lord, this guy just didn't give a F. Genuinely.
If he gets away with it, anyone can get away with anything. Broken ass system. System's so broken, it needs to be revised. Yeah, somebody got to break the whole wheel. Every picture, she's hiding her face. She's got something, a bag over her head or something. Like, they got away with this shit for a long time, bro.
Of him when he was saying that he missed her, just more and more new things. Saying, bored in Dublin, I miss my girlfriend. This was posted on July the 7th, 2024. Just twisted. And people saying, how the hell are you missing your 13-year-old girlfriend? And that's how old she would have been at that point in 2024. So obviously we covered this in the last video about, you know, the parents' role in this. Isn't a video about that, so I'm not even going to touch on that comment. But even more stuff has been coming out. Obviously, she was known for liking Hello Kitty, and people are saying his social media presence is wild. He was overly rocking the Hello Kitty stuff, man. It's twisted, right? People saying who had the best outfit.
There we go.
In
This is what Robert was talking about. Him wearing Hello Kitty gear and shit like that. He's a whole bitch, man. He's an underage girl.
He got the Hello Kitty pin, or is that a Hello Kitty mug that he's holding up? He got a Hello Kitty shirt on, right? He's got the Hello Kitty bloodstained in the white shirt, bloodstained, all of this stuff about white flowers, white shirts with blood on them. Disgusting symbolism. You know, I don't want to explain exactly what that means, but yeah, blood on the purity of a white shirt is despicable. And then for you to put that on a Hello Kitty with her eyes blindfolded, super twisted. And having that as your display picture on TikTok is actually diabolical. That's him in another Hello Kitty fit. Labubu on deck.
You can figure out that she was with him. You can figure out he was harboring a missing minor. You can figure out all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Those things you can figure out. So why ain't you moving on those things yet? David flees Hollywood mansion after cops seize evidence. One more way.
When you list on apartments.com.
The hell, Hello Kitty on a dude? You haven't seen these young gangsters out here. That's all they do is wear girl stuff all day long. But I'm an asshole if I acknowledge it and say, hey man, what the fuck you doing? What are you, a homophobe? Nah, bitch, I just wonder why you wearing all this Hello Kitty shit.
Start coming out of the woodwork.
There's no gender roles in culture. Oh, okay, whatever. You're doing too. Hey, gaslighting, fake news. Shut the fuck up, man. Race baiting.
It sounds like he has fled his home and gotten the hell out of where he was staying, where this body was discovered. Okay, there's a bunch of articles going around. There's a bunch of Reddit posts going around. Apparently, he has officially left the home that he was in whilst this allegedly all went down. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. I'll show you the article. I'll show you some of the videos, everything that's going on. But yeah, it's looking like David is getting the hell out of here. Okay, so this is a Sun article. It says, one more dance. Singer David flees $20,000 a month home after odd music video shot just weeks before girl was found dead in his Tesla emerges. And the homeowner has even spoken out about the search. So he was renting this property 20 bands a month. All right, on top of sending 9 bands to all these, you know what I'm saying, these Apple Pay accounts. This guy had a lot of overheads, man. Must be expensive to keep a secret, man. But this is a little video at the top of the article, and then I'll get into the article, explain everything that went down.
Police discovered decomposing human remains wrapped in a bag we now know belongs to Rivas. Eyewitness News has learned that she was found wearing a tube top, black leggings. She also had a tattoo on her right index finger that said, shh.
Sometimes, especially when you're doing music and things like that, it kind of gets hard to kind of navigate the bridge between your faith and your flesh.
Motherfuckers be wanting to prove to you how smart they are.
So this says the singer David has suddenly left the 4-bedroom home he had been renting for $20,000 a month only days after it was searched by cops. One theory that actually maybe he'd have told somebody to move the car and they maybe drove it a couple of blocks before smelling and realizing, yo, something ain't right with this and abandoning it, and perhaps that's why it ended up getting towed. Okay, but the fact that it was...
Okay, that's a theory that he told somebody to move the whip and they smelt what they smelt and they just left it up the block. Because remember, we laughed at that question. I believe it was Velez that asked. He's like, well, did they find the crib? Where'd they find the car? They found the car right outside the crib, not far from the crib.
Found only blocks from the home rented by Josh Marshall is definitely suspicious. Police stormed the property on September the 17th, seizing bags of evidence, including a laptop. So apparently David has retained counsel. He's got top Hollywood attorney Blair Burke, who hasn't returned any requests for comments, but he previously represented Prince Andrew, creepy Prince Andrew, all right, who was allegedly rolling with Jeffrey Epstein and Kanye West.
Let's see his tour dates. I need to see his tour dates. What's his stupid name? August 25th, he was in Canada. He did Salt Lake City, Utah on September 13th. This is after. And here's my thing. Can we all accept that he knew her? Do we all agree he knew her? They were close. They had some sort of relationship, right? And we always hear him crying like a bitch on stage. About anything. About anything. I want to interview somebody that was at these shows. Somebody that can prove that they were at any of these shows the week before she was found. Because if he crying like a bitch on stage about everything all the time, his emotions, his feelings, he crying on stage about this shit every day. He knew on September 9th that she was found. He knew on September 10th she was found. He knew on September 12th she was found. He knew on September 13th she was found. He knew on September 15th. Did he do those tours? Did he do those shows? I believe he did all those shows up to the 17th. Not a tear out of his fucking crybaby bitch eyes on stage that his friend, quote unquote friend, was found. When did they identify her? Yeah, he was on tour August and September. Right. It says here, Michigan, Ohio, Indianapolis, Chicago, Madison, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Denver, Salt Lake City, and Portland. Did any of those shows happen? Are y'all following what I'm trying to get at here? David performs day after body was found in his Tesla. Where's the tears, bro?
Listen to Claro, listen to Levy.
No tears for his homegirl. He'll cry about the wind blowing, right? But not the homegirl that they found in his whip, dismembered and unalived. Him crying would admit guilt of being a PDF. PDFs are scared by nature. That's my point. My point is, he probably thought that, right? But we have video upon video upon video of him crying over nothing on stage. We saw that in the first video we covered on this. He just crying over everything. Right? Because he can't control, he can't hold himself together in front of people, in front of the audience, right? About his, whatever, his songs, about himself or his life, right? Always crying, right? Decided to turn that shit off, huh? Not this week. No tears in the last 10 days, 15, 12 days, whatever. No more tears. Just seems funny to me, man.
Celeste was initially reported missing in April 2024, and her family made social media posts asking for help to find the teenager, although they later went quiet. Okay. The source, who is close to Celeste's mother, Mercedes Martinez, told the U.S. Sun that they're all devastated over the teen's death, and they claim they begged police for help.
Don't get it
the
twisted.
insider, speaking in Spanish.
On my Facebook, don't get it twisted. On my Facebook, on the timeline, locally, there's always somebody, oh, my girl's missing or whatever. That shit go quiet. Why? Because some girls, we in the city, they wilding, they out there, they doing bad shit, but they're found. Sometimes they're not, shit like that. It's something that happens on a regular fucking basis. You know what I'm saying? People are going to say, well, why did it go quiet? Well, she was returned. Or she returned. But then, she was gone again. Everybody can say, well, maybe the family was taking off payouts. That's why they stopped looking for her, whatever. But as far as the teacher says she came back, and then she was gone again.
That the family was aware of Celeste's relationship with Burke. The source says, I still don't know a lot, but I don't understand why the police didn't do more. For a period, Celeste came back home by herself and stayed with her mother, but the police weren't involved. Why didn't they ask her, where were you? Are you okay?
All of that shit should have happened. They should have known before she went missing the first time that she was on discourse and she was 11.
Know when she came back, but but then she disappeared again and went back to him. I know someone called her mother and said stop looking for her, she's fine. They told the family to take down the social media posts about her being missing, but it's not known who the alleged caller was or whether they were connected to David in any way. The source said that they themselves took down a post for asking for help as they were scared that the situation was out of hand. So they're saying that they themselves took down a post asking for help. They were scared that this was like more serious than they could have imagined. They're actually taking down posts looking for this lost little girl, which is just really sad because ultimately that in a certain way may have enabled more of this stuff to happen. It's not their fault, but the fact is if they're easing up on the search for this girl, that kind of makes it easier for this person to keep doing whatever they were doing, man. It's messed up. It says the insider was sickened to hear of the gruesome details reported about Celeste's death and said that they're desperate for justice. Okay, it says Celeste leaves behind her parents, Mercedes and Jesus, a brother Matthew, and a half-sister Jennifer.
Says here she has a father. What say you, Jesus? Here's the thing. Shout out Shannon. It's clearly a homicide. Nobody chops themselves up. She could have fell in the bathroom, bumped her head, and unalived herself. And then somebody get rid of the body. Because they don't want to be responsible for that on their watch, right? That's just a possibility, right? It's just, I'm saying a way that it can happen, right? That's a different charge. The person disposing of the body, different charge from somebody that unalive under natural circumstances, if you understand what I'm saying. It basically feels like they're saying that she unalive herself. No, man. What are y'all talking about? No. They're not making it seem like that, but that is a way of it happening. There's a million different reasons why people do the stupid shit that they do, but somebody could go on some Weekend at Bernie's type shit, go on their own, something happened to them, and these people don't want to be responsible for that. They try to get rid of it, and look what happens to them. Do y'all understand what I'm saying, what I'm getting at? So no, they're not making it seem like she chopped herself up. Now, here's the thing. You can't walk 5 feet into the hustle, any game, without 15 motherfuckers snitching on you. All of this information that we're getting here on the internet, and there's nobody talking to the police about this dude, about what happened, about exactly what went down. At the end of the day, it's their word against his, unless they find proper, non-circumstantial, but solid evidence. That's different. But I'm explaining to you how they can say, oh, you know, maybe it's not a homicide investigation. It's all of these things. It's PDF file investigation. It's a homicide investigation. It's a disposing of the body investigation. It's a kidnapping. All these things. There's too much circumstantial evidence for it to be an accident. Circumstantial. Facts are facts. I'm just telling you what can possibly happen. Or why they're even thinking it, because you're questioning why they're saying we ain't even ruled this a homicide yet. Yeah, well, how somebody disposed of her? Exactly, that's a whole different case. Or can be. Her parents should get some time as well for the abuse and neglect, taking care of this and not taking care of this poor baby. Mercedes and Jesus. I hear about Mercedes talking about what she knew about this. Where's Jesus? A brother Matthew, we heard some of what Matthew had to say, and a half-sister Jennifer.
The US Sun has made multiple attempts to reach her family. Rivas' brother told NBC LA that she knew that they were dating, that they knew she was dating the singer, and claimed she ran off with him in 2024 after he regularly picked her up in the same Tesla her body was found in. The US Sun source, who has known Celeste since she was a baby, sobbed as they described the teen as a very happy girl. They said, it hurts me a lot because I basically saw her grow up. She would often come and visit. She did well in school and studied a lot. She was very mature for her age, and she would help her mother as she was great with children. Sources claimed to the Daily Mail that Rivas' relationship was an open secret and that she had been skipping class at the Lakeland Middle School before she vanished in 2024. Man. So the Riverside County Sheriff's Office confirmed to the US Sun that deputies were dispatched to the house in Lake Elsinore on April the 5th, 2024, regarding the report of a runaway. Upon arrival, deputies spoke with the reporting party, who advised that the female juvenile had left the location in an unknown direction. Deputies conducted a search of the area, but were unable to locate the female juvenile. The female was entered into the missing persons database as a runaway, and the report was forwarded to investigators for follow-up. The investigation remained ongoing.
In a world where your data is the product, best move is to disappear. That's why I use NordVPN. Military-grade encryption, blazing fast servers, and access to content blocked in my region. Whether you're streaming, working, or just browsing, NordVPN makes sure that you're anonymous and safe. Go to nordvpn.com/ILL or click the link in the description for huge discounts. Lock your privacy in before someone locks you out. Sorry, all these people in the Discord that knew what was going on, all the Discord evidence, what they think they can erase. It's a lot. There's a lot to this. Because he's not off the hook if he didn't smoke her. He got other shit to answer for. Harboring a runaway, the relationship, the PDF file relationship, all of that shit, he got to answer for. On top of who did this to her.
Again, I do want to just point something out, right? A lot of people have been saying, do you think it's tasteless to be covering this story in such detail? I personally don't. I think it's really important.
Who would say that? Do you think it's tasteless to be covering this story in such detail? What the fuck are you even talking about? Why? Because, you're doing it for views. You're doing it for views. I'm doing it because I want to know what the fuck is going on here. You know what I'm saying? There's a million other things that I could be covering that'll get me 1 million views. You know who's not covering this? The mainstream news. They're not covering this shit. A little bit here and there. Meanwhile, whoever did this to her is still walking around out there or on stage or playing Fortnite.
Again, I do want to just point something out, right? A lot of people have been saying, do you think it's tasteless to be covering this story in such detail? I personally don't. I think it's really important what all of the investigators are doing on Reddit and on YouTube and elsewhere and in the news to document and preserve a lot of the information that's going on. But for the record, I mean, these guys have literally gone to the home of the family and they're in the area filming. Now, look, I've read a lot of news articles in my last video that said a lot of people have been knocking on the door trying to get a statement from the family. Now, I'm not going to call that out and say that that's tasteless, but I would say that, if there's any aspect of this story, pulling up on the family's home, knocking on the door, that probably is kind of like one of the more kind of slightly upsetting aspects of this, because, just imagine you've lost your child, they've passed away, regardless of whether or not you knew the relationship was going on. That's a really tragic time and a time for grieving and mourning, and that probably is made worse and more stressful by the fact that you've got a gaggle of reporters on your doorstep knocking on the door and trying to get a statement out of you. But at the end of the day, this is a news story in the public interest, and naturally people are going to go there to try and find it out. But yeah, I honestly, I probably wouldn't consider going and pulling up in the neighborhood where the family are based, but everybody's reporting their stuff differently, and NBC LA is a professional, prestigious news organization, so who am I to tell them how to do things? But it is quite chilling to just see them filming in the area. It must be an absolute madhouse for all of the neighbors going on there at the moment. But yeah, let's keep going.
Today's shock on Jamieson Street in Lake Elsinore after people here learn the news that their neighbor was found dead.
It's just really unfortunate to hear the news. I didn't find out till today.
This morning, the LA County Medical Examiner identified 15-year-old Celeste Rivas as the person who was found dead at a Hollywood tow yard in early September in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. The medical examiner is still trying to determine the cause of her death.
She was very lively, and at the time I wouldn't expect anything to happen to her like that.
Family first reported Rivas missing in the Lake Elsinore area in April of last year. Her mom posted this flyer on Facebook asking people to share it. She says she was desperate and worried for her daughter who had gone missing. After learning news of Celeste's death, family returned to their Lake Elsinore home today. Her brother told NBC News that he was aware that his sister knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when she went missing, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Matthew went on to say, quote, she would leave with him and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned. David is currently on tour and his show tonight in Seattle has been canceled after the...
So once again, as we see, the car is connected to this whole thing.
And that makes sense.
As I said, she would leave
and
with
that
him.
Makes sense. His showing tonight in Seattle canceled because the last place he was at was Portland. No tears. He didn't cry. He cried every other day on every other show. He cried. He didn't cry for her in none of those shows.
With him, and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned. David is currently on tour, and his show tonight in Seattle has been canceled after the...
So once again, as we see, the car is connected to this whole thing, and as I said, she would leave with him in that car, and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned, all right? So he was known for pulling up in that car, and as we're going to see, that car is also linked to this alleged moment where hush money was being paid to some other young people in the area who had been asking questions about the situation.
After the teen was found dead in a Tesla, his spokesperson told NBC4 Investigates, quote, David has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. As of now, the LAPD is not saying any crime has been committed. In a statement today, the department said, quote, at this time, the LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information at this time. In Lake Elsinore, people are grieving because they have now learned Celeste is dead.
It's different when it's on your street, especially, but any girl, anyone missing and found dead is just awful.
And we did reach out to David's publicist and attorney for reaction today and for more details on how the 20-year-old singer knew 15-year-old Celeste, but we did not hear back. Again, this investigation is ongoing. So far, no arrests have been made.
So there he is, a potential hush money scheme in the Tesla.
Elsinore, where he was allegedly paying off other young people to keep quiet about it. And another image has emerged from this, okay, from a different angle, and they're saying this is popular artist David giving kids over $1,000 to keep a secret, and it involves a minor. This was December the 14th, 2024, and would...
Bruh, The people was trying to expose this fucking guy, bro. December 2024, popular artist David gives kids over $1,000 to cover up a secret, and it involves a minor. Anything that involves a minor, there should be no question. It should be investigated, period, point blank. Nothing to talk about here. December 14, 2024. He's in her hometown. He's in the car she was found in. In the car her brother says she leaves in to go see a movie.
You believe it, lo and behold, that's him getting out of the Tesla where the body was found. This image is very damning. This really isn't a good look. I think this is going to be another very messed up, essentially another detail that's basically just going to tie him to this whole situation. There's another image. Obviously, this is the original image of him allegedly paying those teenagers for their silence. Here's the link to the TikTok, but it has the video pinned. So apparently there was a whole video of this going on. All right. And essentially, oh, we've already seen this guy, yeah. Let's watch this now, because I was going to cover this in another video, but since it's relevant, let's
caught giving popular artists got caught giving thousands of dollars to kids. Now, why did he do this? To hide his little secret of him dating a minor. Yup. Who knows if he's still dating this minor, though. And people coming, proof. Why the fuck else would he randomly go unnoticed, no one knows about this, to meet kids, bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars? Why else would he do that? Why else would any celebrity do that? You know exactly why.
Bring them what?
Why else would he do that? Bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars.
Canes like in what, chicken?
To meet kids, bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars. Why else would he do that? Why else would any celebrity do that? You know exactly why. And I'm not just guessing here. This is a picture from someone who knew the girl, and they told me this story.
So we've seen that image.
Shout out to Shorty for putting his fucking neck out there. Ethan_M.
They're saying that this is a post from one of her other accounts. It's the YayWoohoo7 account, which people have connected to her. And that is a picture. It looks like a bottle of liquor inside of the Tesla, the same seats. So that is proof that she'd been inside that car. All right. Also, not old enough to drink alcohol, too. So that's very damning. That's a really bad look. All right. And it wasn't a Tesla Model Y. It was a Tesla Model X, from what I believe. But basically, people are saying my Tesla looks the same inside. I've got a Model X with vegan white and ultra white interior. It could be any Tesla model with white interior. Nonetheless, this is a good find. Okay. It is very, very scary, all right? So people have been reposting long new timelines of evidence from this situation. The Tesla is obviously a big part of this, but there's a bunch of other evidence too, right? So this is an updated timeline of the evidence that has been circulating on a new subreddit called David Unfiltered. So there's yet another subreddit has now emerged where people are basically saying, okay, this is the free speech focused, all right, complete free speech. We're not deleting anything. All these other subs are unfairly moderated. And now the David Unfiltered subreddit is leading to a whole bunch of people breaking down the evidence. So this is an entire timeline of everything that's been happening. We're going to be digging into this whole thing. It's very crazy, okay? But at the end of the day,
January 11th,
another...
January 11th, 2024 was when they went live. David goes live with Celeste.
Deep picture of everything that's going on, and people are trying to work out where the death might have happened. So this says late 2021, David meets Celeste. September 7th, 2022, her 12th birthday, he drops the video of a romantic homicide. October 23rd, 2022, David and Celeste's first public interaction is...
Her 12th birthday.
Discord. February 2023, It For Me is born. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look into that. 7th of September 23, Celeste's birthday. He releases Birthday Suicide. September the 8th, he releases the Lost Petal EP. December the 13th, 2022, he posts pics with Celeste on Discord. December 23, he releases the song Celeste. On January the 11th, 2024, he goes live with Celeste. On February the 7th, 2024, he posts a TikTok about a Hello Kitty girl he met in 2021. On Valentine's Day, Celeste runs away from home. She returns home in early March of 2024 and runs away again on April the 5th and is announced missing and never returns home again. On June the 7th, David posts a TikTok with Celeste's hand in the frame. On June the 27th, Celeste is seen going backstage with David's brother, wearing those Hello Kitty Crocs that we saw. On July the 7th, David announces pregnancy on Discord, and there's no more messages from Celeste at this point. People think she's forced into hiding. By September, David's getting that shush tattoo on his finger, and Celeste is found with a matching one. I personally think that could have happened on her birthday, because he seems to do something for her birthday every year, whether releasing a song or a music video, or, as we unfortunately found out, that car ends up getting towed.
Celeste seen going backstage with David's brother. That's it right there. They spotted her. Not her hand, not her leg, not them in, not her covering her face. She's seen going backstage with David's brother on June 27th, 2024. Less than 3 months after she was announced missing and shit. No more messages on Discord past this. They get the shush tattoo. Here's February 2nd. David cleaning Celeste's shoes. Which could have been his, but I don't know that he fits in them.
Right, February the 2nd, 2025, there's a video of Celeste, a video of David cleaning Celeste's shoes, the Jordan 4s that were seen. She was seen wearing them and he was seen cleaning them. Also in February, Celeste reposts when your man turns into your baby daddy on TikTok, confirming the pregnancy. March 2025 is the day that Celeste previously said that the baby was due. In April 2025, people believe that Celeste was potentially killed around this time. Was it because the baby was born? Was it because the baby wasn't? Was the baby a red herring? But regardless, in the midst of all of that going on
and it's exactly a year after she came up missing in April. Shout out Zoraida. July 7th, announced pregnancy on Discord. Yeah. From a deleted account. Supposedly. So she posts here. She reposts when your man turns into a baby daddy on TikTok. The day Celeste previously said the baby was due. Celeste potentially unalived, indicating her body was stored. Which is what I've been thinking from the beginning. Is that it was more than, it didn't happen this week. That's just my idea, my thought. It didn't happen the 6th. It didn't happen on her birthday. I don't think it happened in September. I think it happened before he went on tour. David performs at Coachella.
April the 11th to the 20th, he performs at Coachella. Right, April the 25th, David and Celeste's first mention of breakup, and Celeste is no longer in the server. On April the 25th, David releases the Withered album. On April the 27th, he performs in Texas.
David and Celeste's first mention of a breakup. Celeste is no longer in server. So who made the first mention? David? Evidently, if she's not in the server, right? David releases Withered. David performs in Texas.
2025, the car was seen moving spots on the streets. Late July, early August, Celeste's body was estimated to have been left in the car. So it's possible she was murdered before, but he didn't put her into the car until after, allegedly, speculatively. That's just my opinion. July the 20th.
Late July, early August, Celeste's body. That's what sound right to me. Car was reportedly seen on the street moving through spots in May.
2025, David was tagged in a swag post with the other Celeste Herrera. July the 30th, he performs in San Francisco with a casket, a hearse, and a funeral arrangement on stage. On July the 31st, 2025, Celeste supposedly last liked David's Instagram, but we don't know if that was her or someone else controlling the account. July the 31st to August 5th, Celeste potentially killed or at least placed into the car. August 2025, It For Me dies. Now, I don't know what that is. I'm going to need to look into that in another video. I'm going to make a note. August the 6th, 2025, David performs in Arizona. On the 7th, there's a video of La Mesa that must have been recorded. August 8th, he performs in Texas. On the 13th, he posts a creepy video on his alternative account at the La Mesa Motel in Santa Rosa. That's the video of him waving to the hotel, and a tow truck drives by. That same night, he performs in Orlando, right? The same night the motel video was posted, but it's I didn't know that. It's a 24-hour drive away, so he must have filmed that clip another time. In mid-August, the car was seen moving to multiple different streets. On mid-August, her friends supposedly lose contact with her. On the 18th is 3 weeks before September the 7th.
Her friends lose contact with her. So were they contacting him? It says up here she went radio silent. If there's all these potential dates and times that she could have been unalived and put in the trunk, was he corresponding with them over the text messages and shit like that?
September the 7th, the car was reported to be on the same street for around 3 weeks. That's Celeste's 15th birthday, and David promotes the Withered album with 15 songs, and it's his last post. The same day, car is impounded with Texas license plates. Also that day, David's last post on Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter, and he hasn't posted since. On September the 8th, Celeste's body was found. A day after, David was reported to be on the same street for around 3 weeks. That's Celeste. It's a 24-hour drive away, so he must have filmed that clip another time. In mid-August, the car was seen moving to multiple different streets. On mid-August, her friends supposedly lose contact with her. On the 18th is 3 weeks before September the 7th. September the 7th, the car was reported to be on the same street for around 3 weeks. That's Celeste's 15th birthday, and David promotes the Withered album with 15 songs, and it's his last post. The same day, car is impounded with Texas license plates. Also that day, David's last post on Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter, and he hasn't posted since. On September the 8th, Celeste's body was found.
The car is impounded on her birthday.
Day after her birthday, on the 19th, all of David's shows were cancelled. Okay, so that is the timeline. It is very crazy. It's very twisted. And everybody...
I told you the shows wasn't canceled to the 19th. He canceled the 17th, But the 19th was still on the bill. Then they canceled the whole tour. I was waiting to see if he was going to do the 19th.
An Instagram account previously used by Celeste has since been reactivated by her relatives, which is interesting because no doubt they've got access to DMs on there, which will probably be illuminating. No doubt the conversations between David and Celeste will likely eventually become public. The Times were unable to verify the validity of the account, but in a series of posts, a user who appears to be her brother Matthew Rivas made several posts saying the family had tried to find her before her death. We lost our girl, the Instagram story said, but we did everything. Flyers at her school, TikToks, Instagram, Facebook, police, family searching everywhere. Even our family in Mexico shared and prayed for her. Another post said, my mother hasn't spoken in a week. She feels she failed her daughter, but she didn't. She did everything. Our home is quiet and broken. So
when did he say that? Because every other thing has said that y'all knew who he was.
Celeste helped start a GoFundMe.
Or knew that there was a David.
Another post said, my mother hasn't spoken in a week. She feels she failed her daughter, but she didn't. She did everything. Our home is quiet and broken. So
everything failed your daughter. The family, the friends, the sister. I mean, the system, David, everybody that was supposed to protect her. Police, everything.
This is a very different tone to a lot of people that are out here saying the family were complicit or the family had something to do with it. The quotes that we're hearing there really don't seem to indicate somebody who's, you know, a family that was complicit. It seems like a broken family that's really going through a lot at the moment, and I think it's just really sad. There's pictures that have surfaced that people are saying this might have been her at a concert on August the 24th, which a lot of people, some people think this is her, some people don't think it's her. They're saying full pictures for anyone's interested. It's all on David's Closet on IG, and you can find the full video. And it says she's got the same smile that she has in most of her pictures. It's just a bunch of shots, a bunch of pictures, people are trying to make out what's going on, and they're saying that the tube top is connecting. So there's closer analysis of this picture that has been going around. It's a closer, I don't know if it's been upscaled. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure that looks like her. It looks a little bit different, but maybe it's the same person. I'm not sure. People are saying that there's a comparison. I feel like it could be, or it might not be, so I don't want to say definitively, but a lot of people are sharing this seems too coincidental to not be her. Another girl up there on the top of the rafters. To be honest, I don't know why, but I feel like the shape of the person's face in this picture looks more like her personally, but I don't know. People are saying there's better quality pictures there. There's a bunch of other pictures. It's hard to upscale. They're saying, is she next to Caleb? His smile is the smile is the same, saying that's not David next to her, but people are saying that might be her caught in some of these early pictures. So what's really unusual talking about the family is it's been rumored, it's been reported that David actually still follows one of Celeste's family members, and this might be her aunt. This is someone called Celeste Hernandez, who is on Facebook as well. People are saying it's unusual. David's still following members of the family, right? And then it's connections. They're seeing family connections, trying to prove that this is the right person. And they're saying that this is one of the people who posted the GoFundMe that had raised quite a lot of money, over $20,000. People are saying, did someone notice this too? That might be one of Celeste's family members, Shelly, maybe her aunt or something. The GoFundMe fundraiser is called Esmeralda, same name as Shelly's sister, just a different last name. Maybe she got married. All right. And what do you guys think? Did he stop to unfollow people? Did he forget to unfollow Shelly? And why did he follow her in the first place? People saying, and then they say they didn't know where she was. People are saying they don't believe the family.
Yeah, he's following family members and shit. Y'all know who the fuck dude was, man.
Another post has been circulating that was apparently her cousin, and she'd warned people not to speak to men on the internet. People saying this is Celeste's cousin, a warning not to talk to internet guys. This is her posting a video of a stalker tries to steal her little sister, and it says, be careful with who you talk to on the internet. Guys, don't make the same mistakes my cousin made. You don't know who you're talking to on the side of the glass. You don't know who you're talking to on the internet. Please be safe out there, guys. And please, whoever, this is all the way back in, is this whole post? Oh, so the whole post was in February 26th, and this would have been after that 2024 Valentine's Day where she went missing. So this would have been beforehand. It says, a comment underneath it says, and please, whoever has Celeste Rivera, please, I'm begging you, please let her go. She's just a teenager. This is her cousin. Her family members are deeply concerned for Celeste. Please come home back to us. Now, these aren't things that indicate complicity. These aren't things that indicate people knew what was going on and they were complicit and getting paid off. This reeks of a very concerned family member, a very concerned relative who knows something's going on, knows something isn't right, but doesn't really know exactly how and why. And from this, it seems that they know. Be careful when you talk to these internet guys. She was talking to a guy on the internet and went missing. Is this the same comment? This is a different comment that she left on the same day. Return Celeste Rivera to us, to bring her home to us. Her family members are deeply concerned. We stopped hunting for her sake until she's returned safely to us. Celeste, come home. We're worried sick about you. We're your family. Maya, we love you to reach out to us. And people are saying that's a picture of her, potentially with the father. And it's another post that was translated. Celeste Hernandez is my niece, missing this morning. I do not get to classes in Lake Elsinore, California. 13 years old. So they were looking for her and they were putting it out there, all right? A week after Celeste's cousin posted about her being missing on the 17th of February, an aunt shared a missing post on the 15th of February. She shared this video on the 26th of February, and it warns of her cousin making a mistake in talking to an internet guy she didn't know. I couldn't watch the video because I don't like these creators, but it's clear that her cousin's drawing a parallel to an older man and a younger child. Also, I'm unsure why she refers to Celeste as Celeste Rivera in these posts, but clearly she's speaking about Celeste Rivas Hernandez, as based on the photo she personally shared and the auntie's post, it seems like Celeste had a large family who had relatives who truly cared about her. It also seemed like her family structure relied on many relatives like aunts and uncles coming together to care for all of the cousins and kids. Based on this post, it also seems like her family knew of her talking to someone older online.
Again, we're only getting information from the internet. We're only getting information from the internet, and we only got our own, you know, we're going to picture the shit family and that we can relate to, that we know. But if you're following him on Instagram, you knew who the guy was. If you're following him on wherever the aunt's following him, if there was other family members that was following him, this sounds like y'all knew who he was, man.
I think they were complicit.
Maybe this missing shit is, y'all can't, yeah, y'all gonna look for her, but there's certain shit you can't say in these missing posts if you did know him and know what was going on.
People are pointing out the fact that she actually went missing a total of 3 times, which is crazy. There's this video that's been going around, and essentially they're saying more information has come through. This is a TikTok video, and they're basically saying, look, if you don't want to watch the whole video, it basically says she went missing once again before, the second time we already knew about, and a man who was in store captured her on camera getting into a car, and that's from that article that we mentioned before. But let's have a listen.
Is coming out about David and Celeste, and this could be a big one. After doing some digging, I came to realize that Celeste not only ran away from home and was technically missing not once, not twice, but 3 times. And a store owner that lives down the street from Celeste's mother feels like he caught Celeste on video camera walking down the street after she ran away and getting into a car. The LA Times had a reporter at the vigil that was being held for Celeste, and one of the people that they got to talk to was a family friend. This family friend told the LA Times that Celeste had came home by herself one time, and another time she came home with police. The coming home with police is very consistent to what Celeste's former teacher talked about. He said that Celeste ran off with David, and one time she was brought back by police. This is the first time that we are hearing that Celeste not only went missing twice, now she possibly went missing 3 times, and I found evidence to back that up. People in Reddit were finding Celeste's family, and they posted this that was posted by her aunt, that Celeste was last seen on 3/18 of 2024 in Lake Elsinore. Then the LA Times talks to somebody else, and it's a business owner who lives right down the street in Celeste's neighborhood. And the owner of this store told them that just after 7 a.m. on March 19th, which would be the day after this missing poster that was posted by her aunt, a young girl walked down the street in a dark sweater and light pants. According to a surveillance video from the store, Celeste's family asked the store owner for the video, and he sent it to them because he was confident the girl in the video was Celeste. The store owner said that he knew Celeste because she would come into the store a lot. She would buy soda, she would buy Takis and other snacks. He believed that she got into a vehicle down the street from the store, but he could not make out clear details as she walked out of frame in the video. He then went on to say that police have never asked him for that video footage that he has. This part is a really big deal because we know now Celeste's family have this video and also the store owner. So I'm hoping that they give it to the police department, but most importantly, the LAPD, because what they'll be doing is laying out a time frame, a timeline. If they can figure out, yes, in this exact video, you can see Celeste getting into the same Tesla, at the end of the day, that's going to be a huge deal. Mind you, would tie into this photo of David with one of Celeste's friends, allegedly, that TMZ was able to figure out it was right down the road from where Celeste's mother lived. They said that this happened right before she went missing the very first time, which was on February 14th, Valentine's Day of 2024. And now we have it confirmed from 2 different people, a family friend and a store owner, and her family pages, that she went missing again on 3/18 of 2024. As of right now, we don't know which one she got brought back by police and which one she decided to come home by herself. And she would go missing for the very last time on April 5th of 2024. To learn that there is possibly video evidence of her leaving one of these times, and they think that they got her getting into a car, that is possibly a huge deal. Based on the LA Times article, they said that they did reach out to Lake Elsinore police, but they are telling them that they need to talk to LAPD, and they're not giving out any detailed information. This could be a very big deal for the timeline and to possibly prove that she was in fact leaving with David multiple times. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Yeah, so that kind of recovered some of the stuff that we'd already covered. Okay, and they're saying every time she went missing, it was David taking her. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people are still scrutinizing the family, and there's been a few posts going around on Reddit pointing the finger at them once again.
All right.
So there's a post titled Celeste's Parents. It says, I don't quite understand Celeste's parents on this. When I was 11...
They know something. Something is weird. Or they knew enough.
Basically, it's been released by TMZ that Celeste's body has been released to the family. Okay, the family have been given the body. It's been turned back over to them. The autopsy has been completed. It still hasn't resulted in a at least publicly revealed cause of death, and that's likely to be making the whole investigation a lot more difficult to investigate. So, yeah. So this is another post that's been going around in a new subreddit called David Unfiltered. So as I explained to you in previous videos, okay, David's subreddits have split up into a bunch of different groups. We started off with the original D4vd subreddit where he was actually sharing his own updates in there. Now this case came about, he basically has decided to take a step away as a moderator from that subreddit. He has essentially, you know, stepped away, made it so that you can't post on the original David subreddit, and that's where this David 2 subreddit popped off, right? So this one came about, there's now the David 2 subreddit, and then that was followed by a Celeste subreddit. This is the Celeste Rivas Hernandez subreddit, but now another subreddit has emerged called David Unfiltered, which people are basically saying is now the free speech version. They're saying that David 2 2 has actually seen a lot of moderation, a lot of posts being taken down and covered up. So now the David Unfiltered subreddit is the completely unfiltered, uncensored, and just open subreddit. And this is an interesting post that I saw going around on here. It said Celeste was allegedly using multiple fake IDs to look older and came from a troubled home. So there is a full TMZ article that's basically focusing on the cops looking into her troubled past and the troubled home life. Okay, so this basically says LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division has been tracking Celeste's history, and they're trying to piece together the story of her life, according to our sources. We're told that the late Elsinore family contacted Riverside County law enforcement at least twice to report Celeste missing. The sources say homicide detectives believe there's a lot of evidence that Celeste comes from a troubled home, and that may have triggered her desire to run away. And then they're talking about the liquor store where she was sighted beforehand. And people are basically saying it's unclear whether family called the cops in Hollywood in spring 2024 to find out if she'd been missing. And the sources say that Celeste was navigating her own way by having multiple fake IDs that presented her as much older than she really was. And people in the comments are saying, I wonder who copped that ID from her. All right. Just so you'll know, fake IDs cost a good amount of money. And for her to have had multiple of them is not cheap. So people are basically now saying that David might have laced her up with a fake ID and basically was just doing the most to try and make her seem older so she could navigate the scene as an adult. Now, this is interesting. This is allegedly something about Ponzalo, who was allegedly the person that took bribes from David. People are kind of on his case. This is what the original caption said. It says, Ponzalo was praised at first for being one of the only ones who was actively trying to take down David, but never could amount to anything. To me, he's now the scum of the earth for taking a bribe, as well as not coming forward. It's still so surreal to me how preventable her passing and abuse was. This was an old post David made back in 2023, and interestingly, he's asking his audience, does anyone have any tips on how to not be the literal worst person in the world? Clearly, these tips didn't help out David because he is looking like an absolute monster. But somebody actually commented on this. Don't talk to minors. Really doesn't seem that hard though. And then this fool, going to be another downvote. So how do you know she was murdered? Maybe she was overdosed, man. People are actually tapped. Okay, people are actually so tapped.
Here's the thing. Here's what he's not understanding. And I don't know, maybe it's a cultural thing and he's not, from the hood. That's quite a possibility. That is a possibility. That she OD'd on his watch. And then they try to people do stupid shit. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying to say that we're touched in the head because that's a possibility. No, you're wrong. You're crazy.
2022, when Celeste Rivas Hernandez was just 12. Let me repeat, 12 years old. At that time, David, the singer, was 17 and taking part in a group chat with his fans on Discord. And in the chat, he wrote, Celeste in here? To which someone named Celeste replied, hi, David, bark. The two seemed familiar with each other, which means if this really was Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the chat, whose birthday was September 7th, they may have actually connected when she was only 11. Fast forward, December 2023, a demo of a love song by David leaks out online, and the name of the demo song is Celeste. Days later, on January 11th, 2024, David appears on a live stream with a girl who looks an awful lot like Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The girl tells him, we need to delete this. David tells the moderators, quote, mods, can we delete all vids? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too? The following month, February 2024, Celeste Rivas Hernandez goes missing for the first time before returning home. February 26, 2024, David posts something on TikTok and another user comments, and I quote, waiting for LAPD to get your ass for messing with a 13-year-old girl. A month later, March 28th, 2024, waiting for home. That? February 26, 2024, David posts something on TikTok and another user comments, and I quote, waiting for LAPD to get your ass for messing with a 13-year-old girl.
February 26, 2024. It's cut and dry, man. This shit been illegal for a long time. This didn't start and end with, her life.
A month later, March 28th, 2024, David's fans discuss rumors that he's dating someone, and one of the fans writes, yeah, her name is Celeste. April 5th, 2024, Celeste Rivas Hernandez is reported missing. Her brother says she was going to the movies that day with someone named David. Almost 3 months later, June 27th, 2024, David reposts a TikTok video of someone chopping up meat. The caption reads, quote, me if I see her talk with other dudes. Skip ahead to February 2025. The music video for David's song, One More Dance, is released, and it features a body being dragged and put into the trunk of a car. David plays both the killer and the victim in the video. 1 month later, March 2025, David releases his Withered album. 5 months later, August 5th, 2025, David starts his world tour. And 1 month later, on September 3rd, 2025, neighbors in the Hollywood Hills, near to where David had been staying, noticed the singer's Tesla abandoned on the side of the road. 3 days later, September 6th, the car is towed to an impound lot. The very next day, September 7th, is Celeste's 15th birthday. But one day after that, September 8th, workers at the impound lot call police because of a terrible stench coming from the Tesla that had just been towed there. Police open the trunk and discover the badly decomposed remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She's wrapped in plastic. This Celeste has the same tattoo on her right index finger as the singer David does. It reads, shh.
Man, it's just messed up, man. Police suspect Celeste may have been killed inside the home where David was staying now. It says police suspect she may have been killed inside the home. Investigators obtained a search warrant. So I don't know if this is being posted but simply because the home is being searched, or
Right.
whether somebody has more information.
This is what's wrong with the internet, that anybody could just make that post. Just because they raided the crib, they can say police suspect she may have been. Yeah. The sky could be red. The sun could be the moon could be the sun. You can say whatever you want to say.
Another rumor was going around. Now, for the record, this rumor has apparently been proven to be false, but there was a rumor that was going around that suggested that a child's remains were found near the home. And, you know, obviously a lot of people speculated that
more internet bullshit.
Celeste might have been pregnant when she lost her life. If this would have been true.
This is people at home just being detectives like us. You know what I'm saying? Armchair fucking detectives. And then they're like, you know what? I think there was a baby involved. And then they just put that shit out there like it's fact.
That would have been a pretty shocking revelation, but apparently it's not actually true. It's misinformation that's been posted. Okay, it says one viral post on X, formerly Twitter, received over 2.5 million views, claimed that infant remains were found near David's home and that Celeste was pregnant at the time of her death.
Yeah, so I'm not even going to buy into
infant
this
remains
video
were discovered.
because so far there's two things that just could have been made up right there. So a lot of that. Well, we're going to keep an eye on this. Again, justice for Celeste. Fuck you to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's just how I feel about it. Fuck you to everybody else.